Call the meeting to order, and I'll take a motion to approve the minutes and the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes in the agenda.
I'll second.
Moved and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion will carry. So I will actually I'm gonna recess the regular meeting, and I'll take a motion to open the public hearing to declare emergency service, medical service to the center.
A motion to open a public hearing for EMS.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion will carry. Okay. So we did read the resolution last week. Do we need to read it again this week? Or- Good.
I don't think so.
Okay, so I will open it up to public comment. Any public comment? You know, ask us, we have any public comment? You guys got anything? Okay. If not, I guess I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Both same sign, motion will carry. Okay, at this time, we've read it twice. Do we have to read it a third time if we want to waive it, or
We can, I think we can waive it next week
next week?
and not read it next week.
No.
Just pass it next week if you want. So,
Okay. Maybe it's, waive it today, or
yeah.
need to sign it?
Yeah, that's minutes.
Oh, I thought.
No,
I
no,
think
this is
that's
the
minutes.
resolution.
That's short minutes there. Okay, good.
I'd say
No,
we should
this one too.
put it on for next week. Again.
I got it. Okay.
I was trying to look that up, make sure, but
Yeah, well,
let's just do it
we
next
can
week.
do it either way, then we're okay.
Then we're covered.
All right, so Rich,
Got nothing for you this morning. We're out doing our maintenance stuff, cleaning up corn stalks.
who are you?
When are they gonna pay Wheelerwood, you know?
They haven't given me a schedule yet, so,
Yeah, they're nothing back on that.
no, yeah, they haven't given me. We haven't had the contract back from DOT either. Sure. Yeah, that was let in April. We have the contract back in order. We just don't have any updates yet.
Okay.
But we did get lucky on oil prices.
Good.
What we paid for was $878 a ton for the oil that goes in. And that is now over $1,000 a ton, so.
Okay.
And we got what we did.
Yeah, well, I know one other county had a project lead asphalt that came in $2 million over their budget, so we're switching over to concrete maybe, so.
Okay.
If they can make it work, it's getting pretty ugly out there with pricing. We got lucky this last round, I don't know. I got a project in Michigan County getting let this month, and I don't think it's gonna come in very good, so.
So we haven't done a rock run yet, have you? Or
No, we're getting maps put together for rock run.
cost of fuel, gonna drive that up a little bit too?
Probably,
Yeah.
we did get our paint bids out for painting, and I am gonna paint. Yeah, we've got, I think, kind of some pack of the county gets painted this year.
All right, anything else for us, guys?
Nope.
Okay, drainage, is there anything in drainage today?
No plans, but there is a bid to clean out a half mile of 72.
And that's the half mile that needs to be cleaned out when they clean out Goose Lake, right?
So
That's
that's
my
what I was just-
understanding. I'm
That half mile that goes between Dogwood and
It's
over.
kind of confusing. You look on the map, if you look and you follow it on farther up, there's a lot of trees and stuff in there too.
So
So I don't know
yeah,
if that's
so
the Upper Goose Lake then, if that is, or if that's what the deal is on that, but
I don't know if you want to talk to Jacob about it or not, or-
I just
He's
read his
there too,
email, you
yeah,
know, and
yeah.
it's, I mean, I guess if this is what they want done. this is what they
then
want
will it be
done.
the next part and the next part, and then we end up over the threshold, and you know how those things go.
Yeah,
Right.
but I guess, I mean,
And the way it sounds, that needs to be, even Jacob recommended that get cleaned along with the upper Goose Lake
Right.
portion, so it'll move on, so.
Which separate Goose Lake is their own private one,
Right.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna
It's
take care
going
of
up to where
that.
they are.
So is it okay down lower so it'll keep flowing, or
You mean to the south when it turns and goes
Because-
down?
that's where the potato ground is or
Ground
whatever,
is,
and
yeah.
I'm sure they just want it to get past them.
Well, they don't want it back up in there because the
Yeah.
floods are.
But if it's not good further down.
That's where actually it gets into a bigger ditch there, doesn't it? Quite a bit bigger ditch.
I'd have to really, yeah.
I was
It's really
fine there,
not
but
much
it
bigger, but yeah, it's all pretty low and flat and peaty. Even the Goose Lake one is where that ditch goes.
Right.
Thought they wanted to clean, but
Hmm.
apparently,
Well, and then I don't know if Rognus is doing the
Well,
Goose Lake too, and he's just getting all bid at once, or I
that guy
don't know.
did get prices from Magnus, so I think that's who's doing Goose Lake, so since they're there, I
Yeah.
think it's makes sense
Keep
to,
going.
so,
makes sense to at least do that. And then
yeah,
if it becomes more than that, then maybe we'll look into it and have, if we have to engage an engineer,
Yep.
it to be more than the threshold, obviously.
so I guess we take a motion to accept the bid, clean, at half, was it 2,600 feet, I think it was, of DD 72,
I just said half a million,
half mile. Okay,
at 250 for 6,500.
I'll take a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Okay.
Jacob did say in there about DD 13 with Jim Crow too, so.
Yes, the sloughing or whatever, so they'll have to come in and pull that back up and. Which I guess is probably out of warranty already. I don't know. It's been a year since I cleaned that, but
Yeah. And you can't predict the rain that we got.
no. So they'll pull it back up and fix it. Take care of it now, hopefully then they won't have any issues, so.
Maybe
Gotcha.
we can bill it and bill them for everything at once then.
Right, yeah. So nothing else on drainage end, claims, you guys have any questions on the claims?
There's a.
This is payroll.
There's a big expense.
We have both claims, take care of the payroll, and
Motion to approve regular claims and payroll claims.
is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? None, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
I wish.
That doesn't matter. Figure out,
Oh, there's payroll.
there's a payroll, okay. Well, building, sorry. Got that. All right, this is for the sheriff's office, so.
Oh.
Right.
Back up, I got a report. for you.
We got a report too? Okay. We'll go for a report first. I'll take a motion to approve the report. Is
Motion to approve reports.
there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved to second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. All right. Payroll eligibility change for the sheriff for Chad. So,
Payroll salary change.
is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Do you want me to sign this one?
Yeah. We can skip the fireworks.
Is there fireworks permit?
The first two,
Okay.
the first 2 pages there. Just need to sign off on all the rest.
Okay, the
There
first,
are 2 weddings at CBA.
okay.
Professionals.
Yeah, so
Yes, by golly.
Belmont.
Okay.
Licenses and everything.
Good
And
deal.
insurance.
All right. So
Yeah,
we're taking motion to approve the fireworks permits for CVA. Must be 2 different times.
Yep, 2 different weddings.
A motion to approve both fireworks permits.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Moved and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. All right, okay, Mark is not with us here today. He did, I guess everything's being done in-house on the safety manual, so appreciate everybody's help in doing that. Very good deal. Get it
Hoping to
done.
get them done up tomorrow afternoon.
And then we'll get them distributed to the offices and one step anyway. Required reading for everyone.
May 16th, I find out what the new,
Rates are.
yeah. Cross your fingers.
Well, I can't remember what he told me. I think he told
Is
me.
it gonna bump up again?
I'd have to go back through the notes I did.
Yeah.
It was like, we're right at the plateau. So we should be,
Yeah,
I wouldn't look for him to go down.
yeah. Well, that's why I put a little more in the budget amendment, just in
Yeah.
case.
So that's it. Good safety would be good. So, all right. All right, Alan, I guess you're up.
Good morning.
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 Due process and the will of people. From my understanding, Mark Smeby has had the rules of order for the Board of Supervisors meeting modified. Prior to the meeting, that change meetings allowed public comment pertaining to the current agenda. The public is now required to be on the agenda by noon Thursday. Since the public cannot know what will be on the agenda until Friday, public comment for the current agenda is no longer possible. Worth County has been working on a wind ordinance for over a year due to the deceptive trade practices of Invenergy during the Deer Creek project in Worth County. The ordinance has been further complicated with the decision to embed it into countywide zoning. The countywide zoning was recommended by Worth County Attorney Jeff Grieve and Winworth Betco, an economic development group. They thought countywide zoning would better assure that all residents are treated the same. Worth County, we are closing in on an ordinance. Stay the course. The Thursday, May 5th, 2022 special session letter posted on the county website should have been referenced during the May 9th Board of Supervisors meeting. Not mentioning the reason for special session during the May 9th meeting effectively buried the lead. This letter references imminent litigation. Since the same imminent danger of litigation was known in October when the wind agreement was first voted down by the Board of Supervisors in favor of a wind ordinance, there is no change of condition requiring special session. The possibility of litigation has actually been minimized and replaced with the possibility of petition to disregard the ordinance. The petition to disregard the wind ordinance has further been diminished due to the positive outcome of Hardin County wind ordinance lawsuit precedent. Please observe the video of Will Reasoner Dickinson Law addressing the board during the May 9th Board of Supervisors meeting, starting at about minute 19. Will Reasoner demonstrates negligence when he said that he has been working on a wind agreement for over a year without acknowledging the wind ordinance. As legal counsel for Worth County, Will Reasoner is required to be informed regarding the status of the wind ordinance and zoning. Pursuant to Iowa Code Title I, Chapter 22, Open Records, and Iowa Code Title I, Chapter 23B31, Transparency and Private Attorney Contracts. What is listed under the required written determination for public interest for such a contract? Why was Will Reasoner hired? Are Worth County taxpayers benefiting from the services of Will Reasoner? If the written determination states wind ordinance, it may be grounds for legal malpractice by Will Reasoner. If the written determination states wind contract, Jeff Grieve may be guilty of legal malpractice. Either way, Will Reasoner's services are not in the public interest. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Melissa, are you on today?
She is.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
You hear us?
Yeah.
What you got for us today?
All right. I just wanted to say thank you for attending last week's meeting. I think it was a good meeting. It was a long meeting, but it was good. And then I'm meeting with SBDC today and a Worth County resident about a business succession plan. And I will be in Coralville on Tuesday and Wednesday for a PDI conference and development. It's a state. It was the old Start Smart conference.
Smart conference, yep.
Yeah,
Good.
so I'll be back on Thursday.
Good. All right. Appreciate it. You guys got anything for Melissa?
No,
Nope.
It was a good meeting. Yeah, got a little long, but it was good. It was kind of interesting. So appreciate it.
good start anyways.
Yeah. See what happens. All right. Nothing from Chris today. Really for public hearing. Department heads, I guess. Got anything from anybody? You're getting your headsets lined up and everything.
We're working on it. I'm hoping we can pull the trigger and get phones installed June sometime. We do have I'm co-chair this year for our ICIT mid-year, which is June 14th that week.
Yep.
So if we can't get it done before that, I'm gonna just postpone it till, third or fourth week of June. But depends. Jeff's he's ordering the equipment, I think, this week, so supply chain, we'll see what supply chain does to us there, but it sounds like he thinks he can get most of it. One update I do want to let you guys know about the park camera system project. Most of the equipment is here except for the switching, and the switching is supposed to be here in November of 2022.
Nice.
So 2 switches. So we're gonna pivot and see if we can't go a different direction with the switching.
Okay.
So, once again, supply chain stuff is just.
Kind of like waiting for planner parts.
Yep. It's same old song and dance, so that's where we're sitting. Well, Jim and I'll let you guys know if we can hopefully pull the trigger. The only other thing that's holding us up would be Winnebago Telephone trenching in the fiber down to the.
Okay.
Other than that, I think we've got most of the equipment on site.
Perfect. Good. All right. Anything else, Dan? Okay, Supervisor Weekly.
I had, of course, we went to that meeting over at Windward Betco on Monday, and I thought that was a fantastic meeting and the input we got. Other than that, I had Partners for Children. We basically went through the financials. We have a lot of money that's not being used because of the pandemic carryover. Sioux City DCAT was short money, so we sent them $50,000 to get them back on track. As you can tell, we have plenty of money.
Not kidding.
And other than that, and then I had North Iowa Children's Alliance, and I had 2 meetings overlap there. So I only got in on the last part of the performance review, which was for Jackie, the new director, and that was good. So that's the stuff that I had going on last week.
Yeah, I just had the meeting over at WCTA there, you guys, very good. Hopefully we can get a model going on what that development will look like, so. I thank WCTA and Heartland Power, North Betco for putting that together, so.
Yeah.
And then I had NICOG Monday night over in Clear Lake, and business as usual there, actually kind of a quiet meeting. But still ordering buses that are still another year out, probably. They've been on order for over a year, so waiting on that kind of stuff. So, and actually the ridership has been down quite a bit. It's starting to come back a little bit, but which is fortunate because they are short buses. So
Ridership countywide, everything all.
just old region,
Yeah.
region as a whole, yep, it has been down a little bit, so. See how that goes, but otherwise, yeah, going pretty good there yet, so they get their budget done.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah, all I had was meeting with Betco and WCTA and Heartland Power. Again, like I said, thank those guys for putting it on and hosting it at the WCTA. There's a good room to have that on, and it's kind of fun to engage with, what their concepts were and what I think our concepts or what we all thought our concepts were for North Iowa and what we'd like to maybe see out there. And, you know, hopefully we can keep fingers crossed and get things straightened out where I think people can start hiring employees and stuff. And I think we can maybe see some action out there. I think that's just listening to the talk and going on. I think, you know, I think that's kind of the biggest concern is this workforce, where we're going to get workforce. And so if we can solve that issue, maybe we'll see things move forward. So that's all I had, I guess. So we've got some time to kill. And so I guess, did you?
Yeah, we brought up about the covenants out there, because
Yes.
we were talking about above the different retail and stuff, whatever there comes, that we'd have apartments. And I know in that covenant, you can't have it. Are we gonna go to the casino to get some of that
Yeah,
maybe
we'll
looked at?
probably reach out with, see if there's a possibility of maybe a few changes. It's not like, you know, we're putting up housing complexes.
Yeah,
out
we're not
there.
putting
It's
up
still gonna
big
be
apartment complexes.
Retail, you know, it gets somebody to do retail lower and apartments, because there's a lot of state and federal funding out there for that stuff now.
Yep.
If you do lower retail and upper apartments.
And I just think it'd be a great idea to attract workforce too, if you can live right there.
Right.
Melissa, if you're still on there, can you reach out to them and maybe discuss that with them?
Yeah, I can do that.
You know, put the bug in your ear anyway, that maybe it's something that could help with the development out there. And
Could even help with their employees.
I truthfully, you know, we had some discussion on that, so I think it would too. So, yeah, if you reach out to them, see what we come up with, appreciate it. Okay.
Sure.
All right, well, probably just will recess the meeting then until 9:30 and we'll open the public hearing at that time. Thanks, everyone.
Meeting first or?
No, do we? We're just gonna unconvene.
You're
On recess.
you're only in recess.
We're in recess.
Okay.
You had to adjourn it. so
Okay.
Yeah,
you're fine.
didn't adjourn it, so
I'll motion to open the public hearing.
is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. So we are in the public hearing to discuss countywide zoning ordinance. So I will open it up, public comment.
I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead,
Where would you like me to be?
right there's fine.
Okay. I like to look at
I
you
suppose
actually when
like 3
I,
minutes, whatever it is. Yeah,
so, all right.
sorry, dude, roughly 3 minutes.
No worries, no
Okay.
problem.
Thank you.
I do have some information I want to share. This is from the Iowa State University Extension. And it's under a guide to common planning and zoning procedures. So community planning is not much different than all the planning we all do on our lives, for our vacations, for our plans for our future, for our goals. People have hopes and dreams for their communities, just as they do for their individual lives. And these aspirations are formulated into a written plan for the community. It's important to have a plan and the ability to implement it. Zoning is the most important tool to implement the comprehensive plan. Zoning works by regulating various aspects of how land may be used. There are a number of objectives that may be achieved through zoning, and these include conserving and protecting property values by protecting incompatible land use from locating in a given area. Something I think that Worth County could use. Encouraging efficient and orderly developmental patterns to facilitate adequate and economical provisions of public improvements, limiting overcrowding of land and congestion of population, transportation systems, and other public facilities, facilitating the adequate provisions of transportation, water, sewage disposal, schools, parks, and other public requirements, and very importantly, preserving the availability of agricultural land and protecting the soil from wind and water erosion. The planning and zoning process directly affects about 85% of all Iowans because they live in cities or counties that have prepared comprehensive plans and or adopted zoning ordinance. What do these counties know that Worth County doesn't? Are we so much smarter than the average county? I support countywide zoning. And I'd just like to take this public time to commend the Planning and Zoning Commission, their thoroughness, their attention to detail, their thoughtfulness. And I urge you to accept countywide zoning. And another aspect of that, what's good for one should be good for all, or what's good for 3 townships should be in place for all. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there any more?
Sure. Sue Loken. I live in Heartland Township, and Heartland Township is currently zoned. And so I'm just here in case there are people that were fearful of zoning. Because to me, the zoning provides protections. I feel very protected in Heartland Township because of zoning. I know that if there's something proposed to come into our township that is not part of a permitted activity, that there has to be a conditional use or variance of some sort, and the public is aware of it. We know what's going to happen, where the rest of the county, things can happen and you have no idea it's even coming in. There are things in our township that have happened that were not part of regular zoning. They had to get a conditional use permit and it was okay with us. We're like, yeah, that's fine. And there were other things that we had heard were coming down the pipeline that weren't okay. And we were able to have an opportunity to voice, our opinions on things. And so I really believe that countywide zoning is a benefit to everyone in the county. I know that not everyone has read the entire zoning. I think it's over 100 pages. But there is on the website, I just wanted to show, there's a flow chart that is very easy to maneuver, and it helps people find out, do I need a permit? Don't I need a permit? Anything with agriculture and farming and growing food, you do not need a permit. I know there's a lot of farmers who are worried that it's going to hinder their operation, and you don't need to be permitted. Ag is exempt from zoning. Everything else you can look and see, do I need a permit? Don't I need a permit? So there's this one page that instead of reading the whole entire document, you can look things up, and it might be just a little more user friendly for the average person who wants to do some research on whether this is a good thing for them or not a good thing for them. Also keep in mind that if there's something that isn't permitted, you can petition, you can ask to rezone, you can get special permits, variances, waivers. There are ways to get things to work that may not be permitted. So I just encourage everyone who's not in a zone township to really look into it instead of just saying, I don't want to be zoned. Really look into what it is. This zoning is a very lenient zoning ordinance. It's not invasive into people's life or livelihood. It doesn't tell you how many cars you can have on your farm or control a junk or things like that either. I mean, it's just really about where houses and buildings can be and on the property. It's really simple. So, sorry.
No, that's fine.
But, and if anyone has any questions about living in a zone township,
Okay.
I can certainly be available to answer those
All right,
questions.
thank you. Is there any other comments?
Can I give an observation?
Yep.
Just from our office, and this is just an observation, from phone calls that we've gotten, people call our office a lot asking, do we get permits here? Where do we go to get permits? And we tell them, well, if it's outside the city, there's not a permit, and I can guarantee you almost everyone is surprised. I mean, they just expect zoning in a permitting process, so that's just an observation.
Is there any further comment from the public? Okay. If not, I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that motion.
Then moved in second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion will carry. So I think that concludes the meeting. Take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
For a second,
I'll second it.
moving second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Post same sign, motion will carry. Thank you, everyone.